basically want a light shining in your face.
Hello.
Good.
What would you like me to say, Alex?
I've got some questions to ask you, Simon. Do you think of me as who's the podcaster? That guy, the 100 million, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
100 million pounds. Josh Rogan.
100 million.
100 million pound licensing deal with Spotify. Did we allowed to swear on this video? Quick fire questions about the vision, what's happened so far, where we've come from, why you founded Chip, stuff like that. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Alex.
For the benefit of everyone watching, do you want to give everyone a quick introduction to who you are?
Sure. My name is Simon. I'm the CEO and founder of Chip. And I was the very first person to start saving with Chip back in 2017.
Exciting. Blast from the past.
Yeah.
And for everyone's reference, my name's Alex. I'm the CMO of Chip. So I do all the marketing, well, some of the marketing stuff. And I was Chip's 200th user. So I started saving with Chip at the end of 2017. Which has been quite a journey. So Simon, for the benefit of those who don't know the legendary story, and without sending everyone to sleep, why did you create Chip?
Oh, that's such a long story. You really want me to go back from when I was a young lad?
I think you can give I'll cut you off if the internet runs out of bandwidth.
Okay, so really briefly, when I was about 10, 11 years old, I remember being taken down to the high street at the bottom of my road with my nan to open my first savings account. And for some reason, she'd sort of been put in charge of taking me down and to the bank. It was the Nationwide Building Society, to go and open this savings account. And I remember we stood at the desk, we went through this application process, and I got a little passbook savings account. And she put the first pound into it. She deposited into it. And I remember distinctly, she said to me, as you go through life, you'll save up and you'll save more and more money. And you'll always remember that I put that first pound in. And fast forward a few years, I got various bits of pocket money and did Sunday jobs and so on. And my savings accumulated. And then I hit a certain age and I discovered something that we've all discovered, I think, at some point in our lives, which is that spending money is much, much easier than saving it. And not before long, unfortunately, my little passbook had a balance of zero and all my savings were gone. And fast forward, probably another 10, 15 years from that, I just got married. My wife and I were thinking about having a kid. And we thought it was probably time we opened a savings account and kind of behave like real adults, right? So I was still banked with the Nationwide Building Society, but this time I went into the mobile app and kind of selected the savings account application. It went through, and this time the process is a little bit different. You fill in a form online, but kind of the same thing, right? At the end, I just got this savings account. Grandma wasn't there to put a pound in it, and I just carried on my day-to-day life. And after a few months, I kind of realized that, well, I still don't have any savings just because I've opened this account. And it got me thinking, there's got to be a better way to do this. Saving on a day-to-day basis is really hard. It requires discipline. Spending money is still, very, very easy, or increasingly easy. What if I could find a way to actually build a savings account that helped people save, and then actually help them optimize their savings or earn the best return on their savings? And that was kind of the birth idea of Chip, and that's how we started off.
Yep, it's good. Yeah, that is basically it. And so for the benefit of those who don't know, so Chip started in level 39.
Yeah,
well, technically on your sofa, and then level 39.
Right. So it was just me. It was just me on my sofa, and I said to my wife Rachel, what should we call it? She came up with the idea Chip. She thought it was sort of quite a human name, but kind of sounded like a robot as well at the same time. And there was a pun of like chipping away at your money. So Chip was born on the sofa in my house. And then we got a place at the fintech incubator level 39, which is in Canary Wharf. It's an amazing location to start a business like this. We started off, we hired some engineers, we built the first version of our product. We found a great CMO who naively took the role at the time. Yeah, and we started off from there. We raised a bit of money from some great investors, and as we kind of went forward, we just incrementally got more and more customers using the product, more and more people saving, and sort of on the back of that, we were able to raise more capital and kind of evolve it from there.
Yep. And so kind of looking at where we are now, which is a few years on from then, without looking back too much, looking forwards, what are the things that kind of the big things you want to tackle? What are the big features we have coming? Do you want to just talk us through that?
The mission of Chip still remains exactly the same, right? We want to help people to save. Well, the mission of Chip still remains exactly the same. We want to make it easy to save and easy to earn the best interest or returns on your savings, right? And that was always what we set out to do at the beginning. And I think as we've evolved, we've tried different ways of doing that. It hasn't necessarily always been a straight line, to get there. And we've learned a lot along the way. But I think as we've got bigger and as we've raised more capital, as we've had more customers, we've obviously been able to evolve our regulatory status, and that gives us the ability to do more. And right now is an incredibly exciting time because we've been able, we got direct FCA authorization back in March, so we're now kind of able to make that transition from e-money to allowing our customers to deposit into real bank deposits, and for them to kind of make transfers through to other financial products and investment products as well thereafter. So really an incredible time, exciting time at Chip, because we're able to kind of take everything that we've learned, everything that we've built over the last couple of years. As I said, got authorized back in March, and now able to actually execute on it and really build a product that just makes it so easy for everyone to save and then to earn the best possible interest or the best possible returns on those savings. And I think now, kind of given the financial, the sort of wider global economic situation at the moment, that is more important than ever.
Yep, cool. And like going into the wider economic situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2 months ago we had a very clear game plan of what we needed to do, and then coronavirus happened. How do you think coronavirus have you been shocked at all at how coronavirus has impacted Chip, for the better, for the worse, and where do you see it playing a part of or impacting Chip's journey?
Sure. So I have to be honest, I really didn't see the potential impact of coronavirus until right at the last minute. It just wasn't something that as a business leader, as a CEO, that was particularly on my radar. Obviously, I was aware of the situation in China and in other countries earlier in the year. And it really, I think, kind of hit me as a bit of a shock, the impact that's had on the broader, global economic situation and the economy as a whole in the UK. I think for Chip, actually, as a company, touch wood, it hasn't really affected us in terms of our ability to operate. We've always been entirely cloud-based. We had an office in central London that we haven't been able to use for some months now, but everything was done, as I said, on the cloud, online, and our staff, I think, have adapted incredibly well to working remote and working in a distributed way. Arguably, it's actually been better for us, and I think it kind of focuses, perhaps like not being in the office has enabled people in the company to focus on the things that are most important and kind of get them done, rather than sometimes working in a sort of big open plan office area can be distracting, and you end up kind of working on the thing that's the loudest, the shiniest, the loudest, rather than the thing that's the most important. So from that perspective, it's been really good. As far as our customers are concerned, actually in a recession, in an economic crisis, people want to save more and people want to rely more on the savings that they have. So from our customers' perspective, we saw a spike in withdrawals in sort of March and April time when it all began, and then thereafter we've seen people actually increase the amount of savings that they're putting away. We've seen our user numbers grow. We've seen people tell us, some incredible stories that they've been able to rely on the money that they'd saved with Chip. So I think for us, actually, we're very well placed to kind of take this forward, and it kind of gives us an opportunity to make the case to the public as a whole that saving is something which is incredibly important.
Did that surprise you when? Because I remember a few months ago, COVID happened, and then we were like, I remember being like worried. Is okay, what are the users going to do here? Like, how are they going to behave? Did it surprise you that like withdrawals went down, savings level went up?
Did it surprise me? I guess it validated what should be true, right? So if you think about what Chip does for people and the value that we create for our customers, in theory, in a time of let's call it like economic stress, people should turn to a product like Chip. So I think it was actually fantastic to see people do that, and it kind of validated everything that we'd been saying or we'd been advocating up until that point. So I guess it was a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise.
Fair enough. In light of terrible events, a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
So, but that well, I was actually paraphrasing that question, which is an excellent question from one of our crowd investors, Barry. So thank you, Barry, for that.
Barry.
Now, so looking back a bit, we do have some questions, some from investors, some from me. So I'm going to ask Rob Hibbett's question, also a crowd investor, long-time crowd investor. Simon, are you happy with the progress of Chip from your original idea on the sofa, maybe that sofa, and do you feel optimistic about getting like £1 billion valuation, the punchy unicorn status?
Sure. Am I happy with the progress? Look, in an ideal world, when you are where you are now and you look back, things would be so much simpler if you knew then what you know now, right? So as I said, kind of progress, I think, particularly with Chip and with tech companies and tech products in general, is not a straight line. You have to work things out as you go along, and something that we've done really well with Chip is just kind of throw ourselves in at the deep end and kind of work it out as we're going along, listening to customers' feedback, seeing how people are using the product, kind of evolve it. And we've tried a number of different things. We've taken a number of different approaches, and not all of them have worked. But I'd say in sort of the last 9 months or so, 9 to 12 months or so, we've really achieved a product market fit. Our growth is accelerating as a result of it, and I'm really pleased with where we are now. Would I have liked to have got there quicker? Yeah, of course. In an ideal world, you would have liked to have known that on day one. But I think you have to kind of take the view it's part of the process to get there.
Fair enough. And
there was a second part to that question, wasn't it? What was the do I believe you can achieve unicorn status?
Excellent question, Rob.
Yeah, it is a fantastic question. Look, you have to ask yourself, what is the potential market for people in the world who want to save? Right? Mm-hmm. It's absolutely enormous. Right? The UK has, I think, a 98 to 98.2% penetration rate of savings accounts to population. Right? This is an absolutely huge market, and it is ripe for disruption. If we can successfully evolve our product and develop our product in a way that it is genuinely the best savings account in the market, or the best way to save, the easiest way to save in the market, then we're going to be able to capture an enormous group of people. We're going to be able to keep them engaged. We're going to be able to build trust with them. And we're going to be able to leverage that relationship to their benefit and to ours further on. So absolutely, Chip has the opportunity to be a unicorn and to capture a billion or multi-billion pound valuation. Is it easy to get there? Is it easy to build the product and technology to do it? No. Are there going to be challenges along the way? Absolutely. Is it a very competitive market alongside Revolut, Monzo, and other companies in our space? Absolutely as well. Do we need a lot more capital? Yes. Do we need to bring more and more great people into our team? Great software engineers, great product owners, designers. Yeah, all these things are challenges. So absolutely can be done. It's not easy to get there. We've just got to, we've got to continue on that journey and push forward.
Yep, fair enough. I think it's a good answer. Don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think anyone who's ever made £1 billion business would ever have said it's easy. Apart from maybe Donald Trump.
It's questionable whether he has actually created £1 billion business.
Indeed.
$1 billion business.
Cool. So I've got some more quick fire questions now for you.
Yeah.
So and this is going to really put you on the spot. I'm quite looking forward to it. What's been your favourite moment of the last few years doing Chip?
My favourite moment doing Chip, I think when we did our first customer crowdfund, when we first invited our customers, our savers, to come and invest in the company. And we were pretty nervous about how it would go. We were kind of unsure as to how the customers actually perceive the product. Is it something they just use and kind of don't really care much about? And we were actually absolutely blown away by the reaction to it, right? And I think that for me was a real validation moment. It really kind of led me to arrive at this point, like, wow, people really do value this product. It is really an important part of their lives. And that was, that was really encouraging and quite happy moment.
Yeah, fair enough. I think probably agree with you on that one. Next question. So you were saying that it's obviously it's not easy. It hasn't been easy. A slightly negative question, but interesting in your answer. Have there ever been moments where you're like, this is way too tough? Or have you always been kind of positive and driven towards that vision of what you want to do?
Every single day, there are moments when I think this is incredibly tough, and it is absolutely part of the journey. I think you'll bear witness to this. You just have to take it on the chin, and you have to smile every day. You have to look at the challenges in front of you. You have to try and navigate them. You have to try and work them out, and it's part of the journey of getting there. And I think it's often for people on the other side of the business, they don't realize some of the complexity and the different things that you have to balance, even down to the people that you bring in and the skills that they have, and getting the right people in the right roles to do the right work at the right time, and all these sort of fun and games that come along with that is a big challenge. But you have to, as I often say to you, Alex, you have to just smile.
Just smile.
Yeah, just smile.
Tears. Yeah.
And just and work it out and push through.
Yep. Fair enough. And what advice would you give? I'm sure there are lots of people looking to try their first fintech business or first business or start tech business. What advice would you give as someone who's done 2 tech businesses now, or more than 2 tech businesses now? What advice would you give? Single bit of advice.
Two successful tech businesses, a few more that perhaps weren't as successful. What advice would I give? I think it's really important to have clarity at the beginning as to what you're trying to achieve, as to what you kind of want the end game to look like. And I'm sure that will change along the way, but I think if you have that clarity, that will enable you to kind of always stay focused in that direction. It can be, as you're trying to work things out, certainly from a product point of view, and if you use sort of agile methodology and kind of follow like a build, measure, and learn the response to it approach, it can be easy to kind of go a bit off piste and get distracted. And I think it's really important that you have that vision up front. The other thing I would say is you have to have that drive and that determination that you're going to make it successful whatever happens. And whatever the SHIT that is thrown at you that day, you have to just you have to have that determination to knock it out of the way and cut through it and get the thing done. And I think if you know where you want to get to, you follow the right methodology, you learn as you go along, but you have that determination, you'll get there.
Fair enough. Next question: Monza or Revolut?
I would consider myself a Revolut man. I don't know whether that's going to get me into trouble, but
who knows?
I think the product. I think Revolut offers their customers an incredible amount of value that I don't see as much in Monzo.
Oh, that is harsh. Okay, fine. That's one way to make enemies. And the last question I have for you, interesting one. If you weren't CEO, what job title would you like? What job would you want in Chip?
I would love to be our head of product. That's what I love doing the most, is just kind of trying to engage as much as we can with customers, with savers, observe either through data or anecdotally, reading forums and Chipmunk community and so on, which I do often sort of secretly on the couch late at night, and just trying to understand what people want from the product and then steer the product decisions in that direction. That's great fun. That's what I love doing. Unfortunately, as a CEO, you often get distracted with other things like raising capital and managing people and organizational structure and regulation and other things.
Cool. Okay. Well, Simon Rabin, Chip CEO and founder, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So
you're starting a podcast now.
Maybe 100 million quid. I'm pretty tempted.